So we were cutting spekboom before the sun came up this morning. And the spekboom is a wonderful tree for those people watching my channel for the first time. It's a succulent or a succulent kind of plant. It's soft enough to cut with a knife. You cut them like this. You dry them for 4 weeks. Then you scar them here, here and here, or everywhere you want roots to grow, and then you put them flat into the soil with little branches sticking out like that. And then everywhere where you scar, they will grow. And this is quite a bit of spekboom, as you can see. If you turn each one of these into a little tree, like that can be a little tree, you can decide how small or big you want to plant them. And we'll be planting them in a hedgerow 4 weeks from now. Living fence, as some people call it. We also found that the ducks enjoy them a little bit. They don't eat, they don't kill them, but they eat enough to make it worth the while. Let's see if they come. So these are our Muscovy ducks, here to keep the termites under control. I think they are happy to see us because they know we're going to be cleaning out the termite mound now and feeding them. They are really enjoying the termites this morning. I quickly want to show you. This is what we get. Still amazes me every morning. This little bread oven termite mound. We get about 6 shovels every day. On the weekends we make a bread, and during the week we use the termites to feed the ducks. I think that's quite a nice exchange, or quite a nice harvest the termites are bringing us. After making clips yesterday, planning my video and not being able to finish it, I thought about a day being wasted and only being able to post a short. And the more I thought about it, I thought, you know, sometimes when you do something half, it's not a complete waste. I made the movie, and I did this a couple of times, made all of these clips, and I couldn't finish it, couldn't edit it, and I couldn't post it. And how that applies to the rest of the world is, sometimes when you do something half, not complete, it's still worth doing. So we ended up getting pits dug yesterday, and that alone is worth the while. Obviously I went to work and I got my work done, and there was a lot of progress yesterday. It was just not filmed. So making half a movie, getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, or getting to the farm at 6 o'clock in the morning, getting up a bit earlier in dark, doing the work, taking the footage. The harvest was still the work, even though the footage wasn't posted. And so there's this Bible verse that always comes up and says, if you want to build a house, you have to count the bricks in advance, otherwise people are going to laugh at you. And that rings true for a lot of things. You have to count the cost before doing something. But I found very, very often getting up and doing something, even if you're not sure how you're going to accomplish it yet, is still worth doing. So this little corn holes here, this is the one color, different people, or different color, one people corn that Simon has planted. Planted them in a little block here across the pits over the hills, very rough. So I'd like to see how this turns out one day. We also listened to our comments. So many of you suggested that we fill the pits with manure, and so we are going to do different experiments based on the comments. First we're going to fill some with manure, some with just biomass, not manure, just like sticks and leaves and so on, and then some we're going to leave empty. All of them we're going to plant with different grasses and see what we can accomplish, see the difference over the next period. So what I would want you to take away from that is, first, subscribe so you can see the progress on those iPads, and second, leave a comment because they matter. We listen and we do the things that you ask. If you're wondering what's going to happen to all of the manure that we're not going to use in the iPads, why we are leaving some empty, we are planning on digging hundreds of iPads and we're not going to have enough manure for them all. So we make worm compost with most, and then we will add biomaterial, we add water, we add everything we can. So every single piece of manure that will be turned into compost, some in the iPads and some in other places. This one wheelbarrow full, as you can see, doesn't really make much of a difference. Just to give you an idea of how hard these guys work. This is a pick mark. Yeah, you can see when it becomes shiny like that, that's a sign of clay. So these specific iPads on our piece of land are all in clay, so the water will stay here for weeks or months at end. This is a termite tunnel. Yeah, meters and meters away from any real termite mound. There's one there, and then there's a pizza oven one there. So that just gives you an idea of what the termites do. Tonight we have the neighborhood people coming to, neighborhood watch group coming to have a barbecue or a braai on the farm. We had a discussion about the drought, and they say one of the worst things about the drought is you look at your land and you feel, okay, there's still some grass left, and then a week or two later the termites just basically destroyed everything. They come and they chew off the dry grass and they carry that into their burrows. Obviously that's good for soil fertility, but it really is terrible if you have some cattle. You saved your land, you didn't graze it, and now all of a sudden the termites have just taken everything. Trying to figure out the story behind the ducks, whether they will destroy our food forest or not. These ones have come now all the way from there, yeah? And I asked the guys, what are they eating? Are they not going to eat the corn? They say no, they feel that these termites taste nice, and the ones we start digging out in the morning doesn't taste nice anymore. So if they find a termite here, they will eat it, or any other bug. But if they start to not wanting to eat the termites that we give them in the morning, they prefer other things. They haven't seemed to be destroying any of our trees, which is nice. Here we are spreading the spekboom thin, cutting them into smaller pieces, spreading them thin so they can dry nicely, and then 4 weeks from now we'll come pick them up. We're cutting them into smaller pieces than we did the last time, so we can plant even more. This is the end of my story. I will see you in tomorrow.